What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 8 of Back Row Critics. I'm Adam.
And I'm Will.
And we are so happy that you guys have come back to join us. Episode 8, we are approaching double digits, Will. How you feeling about it?
Feeling good. Feel like we're catching our stride.
Yeah, it feels really good. It feels smooth. The conversations between starting episodes and what we're going to do and everything, I feel like they're getting shorter and shorter because we're just kind of like hitting that groove and we kind of know each other's style and everything.
For sure. Yeah, I'm excited. This is going to be a fun one as we approach the warm weather.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to get into some cool topics and really kind of have fun with this episode, which I'm excited about. But as always, Will, what did you watch last week?
So I actually got to a couple of new releases in the past couple of weeks since we've talked last. I checked out Mortal Kombat 2 when that came out in theaters. I grew up with the video game, so, despite how people feel about a lot of these Mortal Kombat movies, I'm always going to go see them. And I had a good time. If you go into a Mortal Kombat movie expecting like The Godfather, you're obviously going to be incredibly disappointed. But if you can shut your brain off and just take in the fight sequences, the lore, the characters, you can have a good time. Now, with that being said, did I think that Mortal Kombat 2 was the end all be all of Mortal Kombat movies? No, but it was a good time. I definitely think it's better than the one they released 5 years ago, which I also enjoy that one too. I think both of them are better than the 90s Mortal Kombat movies. So they're definitely doing better things. But I had a good time with that. And then I watched a Netflix original, Remarkably Bright Creatures, with Sally Field and Lewis Pullman. And that was a fantastic movie. We went over to my mom's for Mother's Day. And all she didn't want to have like a big thing on Mother's Day. So we went over the night before and we had pizza and a movie night, and she got to pick the movie, and she saw this one. She's a big Sally Field fan, and we all watched it, and I think all of us were crying at some point in the movie. Just a really strong performance from Sally Field, from Lewis Pullman, and then getting Alfred Molina to voice the octopus is just fantastic because that makes it basically a Spider-Man sequel.
Essentially, right? Yeah, I mean, Lewis Pullman, man, talk about somebody who's just kind of exploded onto the scene. He's in like everything now.
Yeah.
And, he's definitely got that whole Nepo thing going on, which, is the big topic of conversation in Hollywood. But he's one of the guys that I will actually say he's a really, I would say, of the kind of Nepo kids going on right now, I would put him towards the top tier in terms of being a purely good actor. He's a really good actor.
I wholeheartedly agree. He's becoming one of those actors that you just go to see it because his name's attached to it.
Yeah, he's really great, and I think he has a really great long career ahead of him. That's actually a movie that I was just talking to Em the other day about wanting to watch. So we're going to be
I
checking
definitely
that
recommend
out
it.
soon. Yeah, we're going to be checking that out soon. I'm looking forward to it. It's weird that this is kind of just what we think about in terms of actors from that generation now. Like Sally Field's really getting up there in age, right? So it's weird that we have to have these conversations of how many more of these does she have in her before we lose her. It's like, I wasn't even thinking about that with like Catherine O'Hara, and then, we lost her and it's like, okay, we're not getting any more from her. And like, that feels like a weird thing. So, I'm kind of keeping that in mind, and she's getting really, really rave reviews for the film. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. But yeah, Mortal Kombat 2, I'm older than you, so I truly grew up with the original one, the original Mortal Kombat and Annihilation.
Yeah.
And what's so fun is the first Mortal Kombat, I absolutely loved it. Like the original one from the night, I loved it so much. I thought it was so much fun. They just did really cool things, cool choreography, special effects. I mean, it was just a blast to watch. Annihilation is absolute trash. It's so bad, but it also it's one of those things, it's like watching The Room where it's so bad it's good, it's enjoyable, so
yeah.
Annihilation has some, just the infamous too bad you will die. Like, it's just so bad. But the first one is such a blast. In terms of the new Mortal Kombats, the first movie really I was just kind of like, okay, this is fine. And I haven't seen the second one yet, but I have a couple of friends that have, and they've all kind of said the same thing of like, well, it's better than the first one that they did. Yeah. And kind of what you said is, listen, go in, turn off your brain, have a good time.
Yeah, that's all you can do. I mean, it's not like, again, I said The Godfather. It's if you're expecting like peak cinema from a Mortal Kombat movie, you're just setting yourself up for failure. But if you can go, and I went in with a couple of buddies who also played the game, and we just were kids again watching this movie, just like watching a fight between Scorpion and Sub-Zero and Kung Lao versus Liu Kang, like just watching these fights and you're like, this is so awesome. And you obviously you get the fan service with the Shao Kahn at one point screams, finish him. And like you get, just those one-liners, you get to get over here, all of that. Pretty good effects, I would say. Like I never was ever like, oh, that looked bad. So that's another thing you can kind of chalk up in the good category, because that tends to be an issue with some of these movies we've been getting lately from video games and comic books and stuff like that, is they're going to be a little bit of the shoddiness in the effects. But I thought they did a good job with that. Yeah, I had a good time. So that's all I was looking for,
Love it. Yeah. I mean, sometimes that's what you need. In
Yeah.
particular, like the topic you said, we're kind of approaching warm weather, summertime movies. A lot of these movies are just have fun, have a good time.
Yeah,
And that's what they're made for.
sure.
So for me, the two primary things that I guess three things that I watched this past week was, just the other day I saw Obsession, which just came
Okay.
out in
I
theaters.
want to see it so bad.
Really, really enjoyed it. Curry Barker definitely has an eye for horror. And I think part of why I enjoyed it so much, and this is why I'm going to be interested in your take, is it is very, very, very clear that, Hereditary or It Follows is like an inspiration to me,
Okay.
at least to me, because
Yeah.
this movie it's not your prototypical horror movie in that it's definitely elevated horror. It is concerned with motivations and mindsets and establishing characters and delivering a storyline and a premise. It puts violence and gore and insanity kind of in the backseat, and it makes characters and story the forefront.
Okay.
And that's part of what I loved about it, because I really like elevated horror done well. The lead actress delivers a really phenomenal performance, and there is a couple different scenes in particular. It delivers a lot of the things where, characters are in a specific moment and you're like, okay, well, this kind of thing is going to happen. And it does. So it delivers a lot of the things that, you come to expect from horror. But there's a couple moments in this movie where genuinely something happened and I went, okay, that was an interesting move. And there is one scene in particular that has been talked about a lot, and I knew nothing about it. I just knew where it took place, but I knew no details. But as soon as the scene happened, I was like, okay, this is the scene everybody's talking about. And it is genuinely like super unnerving. Really.
Okay.
And this is coming from somebody who, like I've seen it all. I've never seen anything like it before, and it was super, super unnerving.
Yeah.
So they do deliver some really cool, new, interesting things. And I've really enjoyed it. I think it is if you do not like elevated horror, I don't think you're going to dig it as much.
Okay.
But if you're somebody who appreciates an intelligent horror film, I think you're really, really going to like it. So, because I had a blast with it.
I think I might try to pair it up and do a little. What were you gonna say?
No, I was just going to say, and I saw it with Alicia, and she really enjoyed it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard nothing but good things. I think I might try to pair it up with The Passenger that's coming out this week and do a little horror double feature.
Yeah.
So
Love it.
that's my goal at least. So maybe next episode I can talk about both
really
of them.
enjoyed that as well. Also went back to a rewatch, but it was a recent rewatch, which was a movie called Strange Harvest, which is, I would say, among the better found footage style films I've seen.
Okay.
Like I would put
You've told me about this one before.
Yeah, I would probably put it in like my top 5 favorite like found footage style films. Wow. It's really, really good. It's a very unique take on it, and I just think it delivers. It's a really fantastic found footage style film that is certainly better than what we've come accustomed to lately. Once again, it's a very patient found footage film. It's not obsessed with just violence and gore and all that. It's obsessed with telling a really eerie story.
Yeah.
So that's why I liked it a lot. And then the big thing I've kind of been on is actually a series, like a brand new Amazon series, the Off Campus series, which is the #1 thing streaming right now. And it's based on a book by L. Kennedy, and it's about a group of people. So hockey's my favorite sport, and it's centered around hockey. It's a hockey romance. And so it was released on Amazon, and Alicia has read the series, and so she was really excited for it. And so I started watching it with her, and it's been cool to watch because they break stereotype a lot in the series. So, I give a strong recommendation to Off Campus. It really is well done. And when I say it like breaks stereotypes a lot, like there's these characters that present as your prototypical jock, but they're like intelligent and they care about consent, and they're not just like jerks. They're like nice guys that have camaraderie and non-toxic male relationships with other friends and stuff. Like, it's actually just people being people, and it kind of goes away from stereotypes a lot, which is really, really cool to see. And I think it gives a lot of really good representation, especially to your kind of prototypical jock male characters. And it gives good representation to show that you can be more than that, which I really dig. So yeah, Obsession, strong recommend. Off Campus, strong recommend. And Strange Harvest, strong recommend as well. Yeah, good stuff. So
Did get to 2 more Goosebumps as
oh,
well.
you did? Which ones?
I rewatched Werewolf Fever Swamp and A Night in Terror Tower to continue my rewatches to log them on Letterboxd.
Oh, Night in Terror Tower, so fun.
It's so underrated.
Yeah, really
I feel
good.
like a lot of people, I was reading a lot of the reviews on Letterboxd, and a lot of people say the same thing, like, this is the most forgettable Goosebumps. And I'm like, I've loved this one growing up, and I still love it. It's not my favorite. Like, I wouldn't put it on the level of Werewolf Fever Swamp or Haunted Mask, but it's still right up there with the best of them, in my opinion.
Yeah, Haunted Mask is so iconic. But Terror Tower, I completely agree, super underrated. Like, really fun. Really, really fun.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's jump into a segment that is familiar to any of our returning listeners, our Rotten Tomatoes segment. So we have 4 films, and we're gonna give our thoughts, we're gonna give our opinions, and you guys listening out there, let us know what you think. So first film is Kraven the Hunter. That is coming in at a 15% on Rotten Tomatoes. Is Kraven the Hunter too high, too low, or just right at 15%? And we're gonna go in 3, 2, 1. Just right.
Too low.
Just right.
I don't think it's
low. Okay. Let's get into this, sir.
I don't think it's like far off, if that makes sense.
So what would far off? Like, what would accurate be for you?
I think when I left the theaters, I had this at a 3 or 4, and I'd probably land on a 3 today out of 10. So I guess I'm probably sitting closer to 30% than 15, but it's definitely, I wouldn't say it's not deserving of that 15%, if that makes sense.
Like, you can make a case that it's earned it.
Yeah.
So for me, this movie is the only reason it gets a 15 is because people worked on it and worked hard. Like, I'm thinking about casting, crew, and everything. Like, people are giving it an effort and everything, but I think one of the most egregious things I've ever seen is the CG where you just have the picture and the actress like moving the mouth, the CG. It's one of the more egregious things I've ever seen, where she's completely still and just the mouth is moving. It is, I mean, it's really, really shameful. And you're like, how many hundreds of millions of dollars you had, and this is what you gave? This is what you gave us? I think it was an interesting take on Rhino. Like, I think the look was interesting.
Yeah.
The eyes really messed me up. Like, a Rhino, like, the eyes were so weird. And it was one of those things where, I don't know, like, Rhino is, I feel like, one of the more disrespected characters of Spider-Man's villains, because he's always, there's a lot of talk and there's a lot of build, and he's this massive, impenetrable, incredibly strong, durable thing. And he's literally always defeated in about 12 seconds.
Yeah.
So, and that's how it was. There's this whole build up, and he's so frightening, and, all of this, and literally Kraven beats him in like 2 minutes flat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if you're going to bring in Rhino to try to make him interesting in some way, I got an idea for you. Maybe make him difficult to beat. Like, don't make him the first villain in a video game that you just kind of run through,
Yeah.
So
I just looked it up, and it does have a 35% Metacritic. That's probably where I would sit. So I'll go just right for the Metacritic. But no, when this movie was coming out, I was torn, because I was like, okay, it's a Sony Spider-Man villain movie, so it's probably going to suck. But I love Ariana DeBose. I love Aaron Taylor Johnson. I love Russell Crowe, Fred Hechinger, Christopher Abbott. Like, all of these names are attached to it. I'm like, is there a chance? And then I watched it, and I should have.
Yeah, and that's part of where the disappointment comes from, is great cast, right? Like, Christopher Abbott is literally one of the best working actors alive. Christopher Abbott is top tier. Yeah, so, fantastic cast, and it falls so hard and so flat. Okay, so second movie we have How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey. and that is coming in at a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. Too high, too low, or just right in 3, 2, 1. Too
Too
low.
low.
Too low, right? Like when I saw 50%, I was kind of taken aback because I have not met a human that doesn't really enjoy that movie, which is
Yeah.
kind of a strange thing. So, real quick, for anybody listening out there, if you have a differing opinion, if you actually didn't connect with How the Grinch Stole Christmas, reach out and let us know. Give us your thoughts. But yeah, Will, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, where would you put that? Obviously not 50.
I mean, I'm probably saying in the 80 to 90 range, right? Like,
I
we're
feel like
talking,
80. I feel like 85 I would be really comfortable with.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're talking about a Christmas movie that is fringe top 5, definitely top 10 for me of all Christmas movies.
Yeah, I would put it in probably top 10 for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking like if you don't include movies like Die Hard and Gremlins and Black Christmas, it might be top 5 for me. If you're like going fully like Christmas family movies, it's top 5. But
Yeah.
if you allow me to put in movies like Die Hard and Gremlins, that's where it starts to shoot down the list a little bit. But
Yeah, I mean it's such an interesting movie because obviously you look at special effects makeup work, prosthetic
oh my
hair makeup,
gosh,
all that right off the
yeah,
bat. Just I mean, it elevates the movie right off the bat because it's not just one; it is like universal. Every character you see has an immense amount of special effects and makeup work going on, and hair and
I'm
all that,
pretty
and
sure like
prosthetic
Jim
work.
Carrey had to go through
Yeah, I
like
think
some CIA or military training
yeah, he
to
went through,
withstand.
like, interrogation training and
Yeah,
torture training and stuff. Think at the time, I don't know if it's been beaten, but it was the longest hair and makeup process in history. It was, like, 7 or 8 hours a day
which
of,
is
like, hair and makeup.
crazy.
So he was getting in at, like, 2 in the morning for early shoots. But, and he said it was, like, literal torture, and he would, like, never do it again. But you look at the character and his physical embodiment of the Grinch and his physical performance and his tone of voice and his facial expressions. I mean, you look at early Jim Carrey in his career, with him, Ace Ventura and The Mask and Dumb and Dumber and all that. He's such a physical comedian. He was quite literally like born to play this role. Like
Oh, for sure.
no other person could have done what he did. And it takes this story that we all know and we all know what's going to happen and how it's going to go and everything, and yet I'm still tearing up in different scenes. And when you see him as Little Grinch and people making fun of him and stuff, like it makes me mad because I'm just like, that's not nice. And these people are supposed to be these happy-go-lucky people, and there's a lot of cruelty because of the unknown, right? The unknown is scary, and there's a lot of cruelty towards him, and people making fun of him and laughing at him. And it really is heartbreaking. You're like, oh, I get why this guy has essentially turned his heart off because he's been put down and made fun of so much for being so different. But then when they rally around him, when he changes everything, like you feel this real sense of joy inside of you.
Yeah,
Every time, like I've probably seen the movie, I don't know, 10 times. And every time that it turns around at the end and he wants to bring joy and spread joy and all this, like it makes me happy. Like I feel myself
yeah,
smile when it happens. That's just the sign of like a perfectly executed movie.
yeah. I probably watched The Grinch 10 times in like 2005. I was obsessed with this movie when I was a kid. It's probably the Christmas movie I quote the most, with lines like, ooh, that's it, I'm not going. And you're an idiot,
Yeah.
all of that stuff. And
Yeah,
I
the
quote
echo.
Little Grinch. Yeah, Little Grinch I quote a lot too, like the fires of love and all of that.
Yeah.
Oh, Martha. It's just, like you said, it comes together at the end. It's just this joyous occasion, and it's just such a well-made movie. I can't believe it's a 50%. That's kind of mind-boggling. I'm baffled by it. Because like you said, I've never encountered a person that hasn't liked this movie, and I don't know if I want to.
Yeah, because I don't know. It would be interesting to hear the other side of it as terms of like, well, why? What is the why? Why don't people like it? I mean, if you want to say it's formulaic, like that's fine, but that going into the movie, right? Like you're well aware this story is very old and, there's been so many versions of this done and everything. So I don't know. I actually think it's the polar opposite. Because what's coming, it's so easy to pick it apart. But what they deliver is a fantastic film. We have somebody, at the helm like Ron Howard,
Yeah.
like a really, really high level, super well respected director that really cares about the art. This movie isn't just a one note kind of goofy movie. It's about this town. It's about these people. It's about friendships and relationships. It's got a lot of layers to it, and I just think it's a really, really well done movie.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to our next movie, we have the original Top Gun with Tom Cruise. So the original Top Gun comes in at a 56% on Rotten Tomatoes. 6%. Is that too high, too low, or just right? In 3, 2, 1. Too
Too
low.
low.
Too low.
Third straight too low
Yeah,
for me.
we've both talked about the fact that we enjoy the sequel actually more, but that is not to take away from the original. I still think
Yeah.
the original Top Gun is an absolute blast start to finish. I think it is one of the more perfect casting choices that Tom Cruise has been in. Like, I think he is Maverick. Like, it is
Yeah.
an incredible casting choice. And at least for me, what makes Top Gun work the way that it does, you get the cool, fight sequences and all that, but it is his relationship with Goose and his relationship with Val Kilmer Iceman, and those kind of two dichotomies of he's so close with Goose and he's at such odds with Iceman, and how everything kind of comes full circle with that spoiler alert. Goose dies, and that scene in the locker room where Iceman is trying to be cool with Maverick and he's just like having none of it, and they end up having to rely on each other at the end, and I don't know. It gives you everything that you want in a movie. So I feel like 56% is really kind of a disrespectful rating, just kind of like how the Grinch. I would put the original Top Gun as probably like an 85 as well, kind of like the Grinch for me. What about you?
I'd probably say 75. Got to this movie a little late in the game, and I had heard all of the hype, and I think maybe that was what like lowered my score a little bit, but I still agree. It's a fantastic movie. I love it. It's not my favorite by Tom Cruise, but like you said, he is Maverick, and I'm excited that there's going to be a third one. So
yes, yeah,
obviously I'll keep
I'm
taking
for
these movies, So, but yeah, it like you said, it delivers on everything you want from a movie, though. Like, it has some awesome action. It has a very emotional scene, obviously. It's, all around, it's just a well-made film. 56 is crazy.
Yeah, 56 way too low. Moving on to our last one, we have the original Shrek. Shrek is coming in at an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes. So is that too high, too low, or just right? 3, 2, 1, just right. Yeah, just right.
Shrek's a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, right. So I agree. 9 out of 10. I remember when Shrek was first coming out, I was kind of like, this is way back in the day. And I was just like, okay, I mean, sure, whatever. And then when the movie ends, you're like, well, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. The movie became better for me as time went on because I realized I was quoting it more. And I was thinking back to it and everything. Initially when it came out, it was probably like a 7 out of 10 for me. And I think it's creeped all the way up to like a 9 out of 10. Like, it's just a really, really fun movie that obviously has changed Disney, Pixar as a whole. It's changed animated films. It's inspired so many sequels and really kind of a generation of fans. And any movie that does that, you got to have respect for.
Oh, for sure. And this was a movie for me that I grew up on. The 2000s was a really fun time to grow up with animated movies, because I think Pixar was really catching their groove. Obviously the 90s had some fantastic movies come out, but the 2000s, you're starting to get into Finding Nemo and The Incredibles and Cars.
Yeah.
And then meanwhile, DreamWorks is over here pumping out Shrek and Kung Fu Panda. So really fun time for animation in the 2000s. But Shrek was up there with the best of them, and he still is, in my opinion. I think it's a movie that stands the test of time. I think the second one is also fantastic. And yeah, I have no argument in saying that this is a 9 out of 10. I full-heartedly agree. I mean, on a good day, you might catch me saying it's a 10, but
yeah, great movie. And I agree. Shrek 2 is a really one of the better follow-ups.
Yeah.
We talked about Toy Story 2 as being really, really high up there. Shrek 2 is a really fantastic follow-up to the original.
For sure. Sure.
All right, let's jump into something that you suggested, Will, which I thought was a great idea, which is our kind of takes and views on the best summer movies. Now, we didn't get any more into it other than that, which I really love, because for me, I went the route of what movie, so I went the fun route. I didn't go like serious. I just went total fun. And I thought to myself, rather than just what movies came out during the summer, I thought of when it's summer, what movies do I want to watch? That's the route that I went with it.
I'm in the same.
Okay, cool. So
I'm thinking the same way.
So you got a list of movies. I got a list of movies. I don't know how many you have. You don't know how many I have. We don't know any more other than that. But for the listeners out there, let us know also before we hop in, what are your favorite summer movies? Like, what do you guys love to watch? What are your go-tos? It's a Saturday, you got a day off, it's a summer, you're hanging out at home. What movies do you put on? What are your go-tos and what do you love? So, Will, how do you want to do that? How many movies do you have on your list?
2, 3. I'd probably say about 10.
All right, cool. Because
we don't have to talk about all 10 of them, but
no, that's cool. I got 12. So
okay,
we don't have to get super in depth, but we can kind of just riff off of all of them, see if we got any in common. But Will, hit us first. What is I don't know if you have them in chronological order or anything like that, but hit us with your first movie.
I'm just going to go with anybody that knows me knows that this is not only my favorite movie, but it is a summer movie. I'm going Dazed and Confused. That is.
I knew that was coming. I knew it was coming.
I mean, how do you not? Like, it's the last day of school. It literally kicks off summer. It's just friends hanging out, kegger by the moon tower, joints up committee at the 50-yard line. You got all of the fun quotes. You've got a heck of a cast. And it's just one of those movies that no matter where I'm at, what time, where I'm at in life, if somebody says, hey, do you want to watch Dazed and Confused? The answer will never be no.
Love it. I knew that was going to be your number one.
But if it's summer, it's even better. It hits a little more,
Yeah. No complaints there. Great movie. Classic. I agree. Never going to say no to it.
For sure.
And it was interesting when I thought about this list, the first movie that popped in my head, the very first movie I wrote down. And it's funny because it's not even my favorite movie on this list or anything like that, but it was just the one that instantly came to me, The Sandlot. It's a movie I grew up with. It's literally about summer. It's about playing baseball. It's about hanging out with your best buds. It's about finding a chosen family. This kid, he doesn't feel like he belongs, and Benny takes him in, and it's so fun. It's ridiculous. It's you got the neighbor next door with the giant dog that's not really giant, and you talk about Babe Ruth and baseball and all. And I mean, going to the pool. It's just a movie about kids having fun during the summer, and about this one summer of your life changing the rest of your life. And to me, it's endlessly rewatchable. I've loved it ever since I was a kid. And when it's summer and I want to watch a sports movie during the summer, it's probably the movie I'm going to pop in. I love The Sandlot.
It's also on my list, so I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Baseball is just summer, right?
Yes,
like
100%.
When you think, if you're naming seasons and then the next person has to name a sport that reminds you of it, if you say summer and the answer is not baseball, what are you doing?
Yeah, agreed.
So, yeah. And then you get the 4th of July scene, too.
I know.
Which is just
slow motion and the fireworks. It's literally just summer in a movie.
When I was a kid watching this movie, it made me want to play baseball under the fireworks at some point in my life, which I never got to do. So if anybody ever wants to do that, let me know. But
I was going to say, man, there's still time. We got time.
Even if it's just slow pitch softball under the fireworks, I'm cool with that too. I'll take it.
Yeah. All right. What's your next movie, Will?
All right. So next, I'm going to kind of jump to, it's a weird jump because that first movie I said was just obviously this feel good coming of age comedy. Jaws is my second one.
Yep. Yeah.
Once again, you think sharks, you think summer. It's one of my favorites. It's getting to go to Martha's Vineyard last year for the 50th anniversary celebration too. I think even elevated this movie for me, if that was even possible, because it's always been a 10 out of 10 for me, but it might be like a 15 out of 10 now after that. It's the epitome of shark movies. It's Spielberg doing Spielberg things. And if you don't watch this movie every summer, what are you doing with your life?
Yeah. And it's a movie that changed our perception of beaches, of water. It holds a place in society because of what it did and the mindset. It's an absolute blast. But it's one of those movies because it's Spielberg doing Spielberg things. It also focuses on the story, these characters, the camaraderie of these three men, the dangers of what they're doing. And then, you get the shark at the end, which is just the most iconic of all things in movies. It gives you, I feel like, everything you could want.
Oh, for sure.
Love it.
Where are you going with your second one?
All right, number 2, I'm going with another really, really fun one, a zany movie where the word summer is in the title, Wet Hot American Summer. I love Wet Hot American Summer. It's so absurd, over the top, and ridiculous in every way, shape, and form, but it is an absolute blast, opening frame to ending frame. It's like a black comedy. It's really odd humor sometimes. It's like scratch your head, what is going on? But I laugh from start to finish. Movie about, last day of summer camp. And it's just, it's a great time, and it's a fun movie to turn to. Like somebody said to me once, like, oh, what kind of mood should I be in when I watch that movie? And I'm like, just be in the mood to laugh. That's it. That's all you
Yeah,
need to do. So yeah, Wet Hot American Summer, just a great time.
fantastic.
Yeah.
For my third movie, I'm going to hop back over to kind of a similar vibe to Dazed and Confused. Give me Stand By Me. Just another movie.
Stand By
Is it
Me.
on your list?
Yep.
Is it on your list?
Yeah.
It has to be. It's just another movie where it's a group of friends, but now you step back to, obviously, 12-year-olds, and it's just an adventure. You get the train scene, you get the camping in the woods, you get the leeches scene, and it's just this group of friends going on this journey to find this body, and it's just so fun. It's very well acted. I think they got a group of kids that just meshed.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's Rob Reiner too. Rob Reiner is just the man. Rest in peace to one of my favorite directors. And it's just every time I watch it, I just feel good, even though it's like a heavy subject matter. And then you get the iconic line you don't have with the friends, and you'll never have the friends you had when you were 12 years old. And
Yeah.
it's just such a good movie.
It's a phenomenal film. It is one of the best films ever made about camaraderie and friendship and the things that you go through and what keeps you together, and how sometimes you drift apart, because at the end he talks about that we saw less and less of each other, and like every time I hear that line I feel like crying, like, because that is how life goes, but yeah, it's a masterclass in child acting, it's a masterclass in directing, and I think Kiefer Sutherland plays an absolutely terrifying villain as Ace. He really is terrifying in that movie. But yeah, it's a fantastic film. Great pull.
For sure.
All right, my next film, we're staying on the fun track. Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
It's on my list.
I mean, John Hughes, the master of storytelling of what it feels like to be a teenager, delivers one of the more iconic films. And even though the film literally takes place during the school year, that to me is a summer film. He literally goes to a baseball game, right? Like, about that. But the way he treats the day is how there was no way to be young or older and watch that movie and not go, man, I want that day myself. I want a day off and just going with friends and doing and it's not just goofy stuff, right? Like he goes to a nice restaurant to eat. He goes to a museum and has a real connection with like art there. And then he does fun things like the parade scene and the baseball game and all this stuff. It's just a blast start to finish. It's a really fun film. It's a good time. And everybody, it's one of those movies where as you watch it, you go, everybody had a great time making this movie. Like you could just see it, you could feel it. And the parade scene gives us one of the most iconic scenes ever, not only in a John Hughes film, I would argue in any film ever made.
Yeah. We've talked about this it was Movie of the Week a few weeks ago. It's got to be on the list. I know we kind of did it because of the time period of school being left, 1 month left in school, but it really does feel like a summer movie. School's almost out. I'm pretty sure it was filmed on June 5th because somebody did the fact-checking with the Cubs game and all of that. So really, it is a summer movie. They swim in a pool at the end. It's just a beautiful day.
Yeah.
It just hits a little more in the summer.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, great movie. All right, what you got for us?
For my next one, I'm going to go with another fun one, a movie we both adore. And that's The Lost Boys.
I knew that was coming from you, my man. The Lost Boys.
I think this is a movie I can watch, obviously, any time of year. It hits in October. For some reason, I've watched it in January every year for the last 6 years. It starts my year off right, But it also just hits really hardcore in the summer because you're on the beach. You're in California. It looks warm.
Yeah.
So, this is a movie that I guess you could argue hits all year, but it's just another movie that I love throwing on in the summer. It really gets 3 watches a year from me. I think this is a movie I watch every January, every summer, and every October.
Yeah, I feel like you watch The Lost Boys any time of the year and you're a happy camper, because that's exactly what it is for me. I like watching it around your prototypical kind of fall Halloween time. Like, that's just when I love it, the vibes of it. But yeah, that is one of those movies where kind of what I was talking about in the beginning of, it doesn't even have to take place during summer or whatever. If it's summer and somebody says you want to watch The Lost Boys, the answer is yes every time, right? So yeah, fantastic film, so much fun. The beach scenes, the weather looks amazing there. It's what you hope every summer is.
Yeah, for sure.
Love it. My next film I'm jumping in with, a summer classic, Independence Day. Just an absolute blast of a movie. I think it still holds up today. The effects hold up today. I think the casting of Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum playing opposite of each other, it's like a Laurel and Hardy casting. Like, you got the straight man and you got the kind of funny man. But I've talked about this, it is a hilarious movie. It's a great action movie, but there are so many serious moments in that movie that I don't feel like people talk about enough. Like when you're looking at you're going on a mission at the end and you're looking at people that you might not ever see again. You're realizing it's probably a suicide mission. Those moments
Yeah.
are intense moments. And, Bill Pullman giving one of the better speeches in cinematic history, I think. It's a very serious moment. And even Jeff Goldblum's dad, telling him, like, I'm very proud of you at the end. Like, and that look he gives him,
Mhm.
it's literally the look that he's been craving his whole life, right? And then on top of that, we have amazing looking aliens that I just think are really top tier, and it's such a blast. It's so much fun. The fighter pilot scenes and the being up in space and all of that, I love it, and it makes me laugh too. Like at
Yeah.
the end when they're launching the missile at the aliens, and Will Smith is like, "Peace," and he launches it, or when he opens the thing and punches them, he's like, "Welcome to Earth," like just these
Yeah.
iconic lines. And, Independence Day is just such a fun movie.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah, love it. All right, what do you got for us next?
I'm going to go with another sports movie. Give me Caddyshack.
That was right on my line of whether I was going to put that on my list or not, so I'm so glad you did.
Yeah, golf's right there behind baseball. Golf's that year-round sport because it's so big down south, obviously, in the colder months up here. But this movie is just set in summer vacation, so you get that feel of it. But it's just such a fun movie. It's probably my favorite Chevy Chase movie. Between this or Christmas Vacation, Rodney Dangerfield's just golden. Bill Murray's golden. It's just such a fun movie to watch. And it's one of those movies where, I think it's a better movie than obviously the Mortal Kombat movies, but it's another one where if you just shut your brain off and have a good time, you're going to be dialed and just laughing.
Yeah, 100%. I love it. It's such a blast. Bill Murray is my favorite. The whole Dalai Lama scene where he's holding the pitchfork up to the guy talking about the Dalai Lama is one of the funniest scenes I've ever seen. And apparently that was like completely just riffed by him. Like he just improvised that whole scene, which checks out. I love Caddyshack. I'm going to kind of keep with your theme of a really kind of just fun summer movie. And for me, one is always connected, and it's because of one particular actor's performance, which is John Candy, is the movie The Great Outdoors. I love The Great Outdoors. It's super fun. You have John Candy and Dan Aykroyd at the height of their powers. You have Annette Bening, who was regarded as a serious actress, delivering really fun comedic performances. You have the creepy twins, and you have the scene where he goes to my favorite scene of the whole movie, where he goes to try to eat all the food, the huge steak, in order to get it for free. You have the the skiing moment behind the boat. Like there's the bear breaking into the cabin. Like there's just so many funny moments and scenes. It takes place like a family on a summer retreat trying to reconnect. It's hilarious. It's got a lot of heart to it. And I just, anytime you put John Candy and Dan Aykroyd on the same screen, like I'm all in. So yeah, I love The Great Outdoors. Yeah. It's just, I can pop it on anytime during the summer and I'm happy.
Yeah. For my next one, I feel like my next two are movies that I can watch any time of year, but I just feel like they hit a little more in the summer. The first one I'm going to go with here is The Goonies.
Wow. Great movie.
I always describe The Lost Boys as like the Goonies with vampires. I think they're kind of on the same wavelength. It's just that adventure film that has this group of adolescents just going after something. Obviously with The Lost Boys, it's protecting the family from vampires. This one, it's protecting the family from having to move and sell everything and keep the Goondocks alive, It's one of those movies, like I said, I can watch anytime, but in the summer, it just hits a little more. I've always, this is another movie that has a scene that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to go down that, like, natural slide.
Yeah.
That water slide.
Yeah. I love The Goonies. It's just an adventure start to finish. Great child actors, a true adventure movie, right? Like literally there's pirates and there's gold and, there's just so much that goes into it. And just watching these group of kids go on that adventure is a blast.
Yeah. I've got a Goonies board game. We'll have to play it sometime.
Do you really? Oh, we're definitely.
Yeah, I have like the original one from the 80s.
Wow.
I found it at this store in Pennsylvania, at the Monroeville Mall.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Love that. Yeah. The Goonies is great. It's just such a blast.
It's so fun.
So for me, kind of changing pace a little bit, this is a true summer movie, and I don't care what anybody says. I love this movie, and I watched it all through the years, and I always have a blast with it, and that's Dirty Dancing. I love Dirty Dancing. It's so much fun. I love watching the chemistry of Jennifer Grey and Patrick Swayze. I think it's some of the best movie chemistry we've ever seen, like I mean in all of film history. Like really, their chemistry just jumps off the screen, and we get these incredible dance sequences that are so fun. Iconic music takes place during the summer. It's that, it's a movie about childhood, adolescence going away and coming into adulthood. I think there's things in that movie we can all relate to. There's really intense topics that get discussed. There's a lot about insecurity and it's just really cool to kind of watch Jennifer Grey grow as a character. And to me, Dirty Dancing just represents summer.
For sure.
Love Dirty Dancing.
The next one, another one, like I said, I could watch it year round, but in the summer just a little more. That's the original Jurassic Park.
That's on my list. It's gotta be.
It's just, it's like Jaws. I remember watching Jaws and Jurassic Park for the first time. They were the movies that got me into movies, and it was summertime watching both of them, and it's just, they got to be on this list for me.
Yeah,
both 10 out of 10s, both perfect in my eyes.
Jurassic Park is, I would put it up there with, in my mind. I'm not even talking about technical. I'm not talking about anything else. Just in terms of just pure enjoyment factor, it's one of the best movies ever made.
Oh yeah.
It holds up in a way that very, very few movies from that era can hold up. And start to finish, I think it 100% feels like a summer movie. I can watch it year round, but there's just something different about it being July and watching Jurassic Park.
For sure.
And just being like, yeah, this fits the vibe of what's going on right now. And it's just one of the best ones ever made.
And it's funny too, because it's Spielberg doing Spielberg things.
Yeah.
Him taking over this animal that I adore, and nobody has done it as good as him. Sounds like Jaws.
Yeah. It sounds like just what he does. I mean, I can make that argument. The same thing with E.T., right? Like takes Aliens and just does it better than anybody else has ever done it.
Yeah.
It's what Spielberg does. He takes a topic, he takes an area, and he just does it better than anybody else.
Yeah.
And it's
now, Aliens, there's some arguments with Aliens. There is some arguments, because I think Ridley Scott would have something to say.
I know people can make an argument, but for me, I think the best Alien movie ever made is E.T. for me.
No, I get what you're saying. But I think, like, with sharks and dinosaurs, I don't know if you can argue.
No,
you know what I mean?
That's the end of it. Yeah, it's game over.
Yeah.
Game over, man.
Spielberg.
So a movie that I can watch anytime, but my favorite time is to watch during the summer. And I think it's one of the best comedies ever made. And I think that in 10 years time or 15 years, whatever, it's going to be much more revered than it is even now. And for me, that's Bridesmaids. I think it's one of the funniest movies ever made. I think the casting of that movie is sensational. Kristen Wiig is the funniest I've ever seen her. Maya Rudolph, Melissa McCarthy. Like, it's just a film that is so hilarious, and it's about friendship and bonding and ridiculous situations, from them eating at the restaurant and then being in the bridal shop and feeling sick, to them being on the plane and Kristen Wiig, being like just out of her mind, hammered. It's just great, and it has so much heart to it, and it's so much fun. And watching Bridesmaids during the summer just hits in a different way. Love that movie, I think it's just a super underrated comedy.
For sure.
Yeah, Bridesmaids.
That actually, I think, was just out of the Peacock, and I was thinking about, it's been a while since I've watched it, and I know Rosie loves it, so I was actually thinking about maybe hitting a rewatch on it.
I can return to that movie anytime. It's so good.
For my next one, I'm gonna go with a comedy from the 80s that's just a good time, and it's definitely got the summer vibes to it. Give me Weekend at Bernie's.
Weekend at Bernie. That was on my, it rode the line of making my list.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, it's actually, I watched this for the first time a few years ago. Rosie and I were doing this weekly Wednesday movie night where we watched 80s movies that she hadn't seen any of them, but most of them were rewatches for me. But this was Weekend at Bernie's was the first time for both of us, and we both had a really good time with it. It's buck wild. That's like the best way to describe it. I don't think it's the greatest movie of all time, but it's just a movie that really hits in the summer.
Yeah. Weekend at Bernie's is so fun. It's such a good time. That actor, his performance as Bernie, of how he moved and everything with the music, it's just, you actually hear the premise. It's one of the more insane sounding premises ever, but the execution is top notch. Like, I just don't think they could have made it better than they did.
No, for sure. I agree.
Yeah, great movie. Kind of rounding out towards the end for me, I have a movie, once again, watch it anytime, but there's just something special about the summers. Back to the Future.
Yep.
It's this kid that, school is such a second thought and priority to him. And he has this really odd relationship with this doctor, which never fully is explained.
Yeah.
And it's just when you think of summer when you're younger, which is when I saw Back to the Future, you think of adventure, right? what's more adventurous than Back to the Future? I mean, it hops different timelines. It gives you one of the coolest cars. It gives you one of the most iconic characters in Marty McFly and Doc Brown, another iconic character. It's so fun. It's a blast. I'd never seen anything like it when I was a kid. And I've always said it's one of the best scripts ever written because it does really, really complex time travel in a way that kids can understand. And that is a great script. And Zemeckis is a master class of director who I think is very, very underappreciated. And I think, Back to the Future is his masterpiece. And yeah, it's such a blast start to finish. And I love that film.
Yeah, Back to the Future is a perfect movie. It's like 1A, 1B with Dazed and Confused for me, for favorite movie of all time. Back to the Future, it was on the fringe of my list because I agree it does hit in the summer, but it's just one of those ones where I don't think I have an elevated experience watching it in the summer, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah, no, totally. I get it.
Like Dazed and Confused and Back to the Future, I can watch any time of the year. Dazed and Confused, though, just hits a little more in the summer, I think.
Yeah, I think for me, the summer part of it is the adventure, right? Like,
yeah, for sure.
Summer equals like endless possibilities. I can go anywhere. I can do anything. I don't have to be in school. And it's like watching this kid who hates being in school and he goes on the adventure of a lifetime. To me, that's what makes it jump out for summer.
Yeah, for sure. No, I can get down with Back to the Future being on any list of the best things to watch. So,
yeah,
for sure. I have one more because I had Sandlot and one other and Ferris Bueller on my list, but I'm gonna go to a nostalgia pick for my last one, a movie that I watched a lot as a kid with my siblings. Give me The Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan, Dennis Quaid, and company.
Nice pull. All right.
It's just, I mean, it's a summer camp movie, when you're a kid watching this too, you just almost feel like you're at summer camp with them, finding out that they're sisters. And then you go on this wild adventure of them getting to meet the parents on each side and doing the switcheroo. And it's a fun movie, and it's a summer movie.
I love it. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's what sums up Parent Trap is it's just really fun. It's a really fun movie. Another movie where you can just kind of go in, relax, have a good time. And, there's a decent amount of heart in there with that movie too. So yeah, Parent Trap. I think that's a great one. My last one I'm going to do is a really interesting and probably my favorite adventure sci-fi movie of all time that I want to watch in the summer more than any other time of the year, which is Terminator 2 Judgment Day. For me, that's if I'm home and I want something fun and it's the summertime, I put that movie, I've probably watched it more during the summer than any other time of the year. It's sci-fi, it's adventure, it's an amazing sequel. It's watching Schwarzenegger, who just feels like a summer actor, do his thing. And like I said, just it's adventure, it's fun. Start to finish, it's such a good time. I just have a blast watching that movie. And when I think of like movies that are just such adventurous movies that I have such a great time watching, to me that screams summer. And if I'm thinking about that category, it's Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Yeah.
And it's far superior to the original. And to me, it's an absolute blast.
For sure.
Yeah, love it.
I will throw an honorable mention at the Friday the 13th franchise and the Texas Chainsaw franchise.
I thought about putting on the Texas Chainsaw because that movie I have never seen maybe another movie that looked so hot. Like the movie just looks sweltering.
You just sweat watching it.
That Texas heat is so sweltering. Gross. And yeah, I think if I was thinking like old school horror, I had Texas Chainsaw as like right on the line of whether I was going to put that on my list or not.
I just think those two franchises hit a little more in the summer than like when I'm watching the Halloween franchise, it's going to be October,
Yeah.
Halloween I can watch anytime of the year, but they just hit more when the leaves are orange outside. But Texas Chainsaw and Friday the 13th have always, and I Know What You Did Last Summer is probably another horror franchise I'd throw in the summer category as well.
Yeah, I Know What You Did Last Summer was on it was kind of riding the line of whether I was going to put that on. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Just some fun ones to watch in the summer.
Great pulls for our summer list. For everybody out there listening, let us know, what are your favorite summer movies? What are ones that you go back to? What are ones that you return to? And have you seen any recently that you think should be up for consideration? Any movies that you think should be on the summer list that aren't getting enough respect? Reach out and let us know, but that's our list. Will, let's hop into our last segment, which is our movie of the week, and tell everybody out there what our movie of the week is.
We are going to talk about the perks of being a wallflower.
Perks of being a wallflower. Did you read the book?
I did not.
Okay.
Did you?
Yes, I have. It's one of the few books I've read. But what's I think immediately something that has to be recognized with Perks is that the person who actually wrote the book also wrote and directed the movie,
Yeah.
which I think
I
is
didn't know
really
that about it.
yeah, it's really important to point that out because typically either one of two things happens. Either one, you don't get that. The writer of the book does not write and direct a movie, or two, if it does happen, it's a disaster. It's just not
Yeah.
good. You're too connected to the source material. You can't adapt it from a book to a film. It is one of the best adaptations from book to film I've ever seen. Ever seen. Hits every single note that you want it to coming from the book while being aware that it has to be adapted for film. I think the casting of Perks
Yeah.
is sensational. And I just think it is a movie. Obviously, we're going to get into more detail, but I want to let you kind of get into it as well. But it's a movie that start to finish, it does everything that it seeks to achieve. And to me, that's what makes it such an incredibly successful film. And I feel so much when I watch that movie. Like I just feel watching that movie.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned it, the cast. Logan Lerman's fantastic as Charlie.
Yes.
I love Emma Watson. This is my favorite Ezra Miller performance. Paul Rudd, he's just the right-hand man to Charlie at the beginning, all the way through. I didn't realize that Julia Garner was in this movie, by the way, until
Yeah.
this rewatch.
Yeah.
But even like some of the supporting characters, I mean, you got Joan Cusack in at the end. You got Nicholas Braun, Nina Dobrev. Like, you've just got a bunch of big
Mae
names
Whitman.
all over the...
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got big
Yeah.
names all over the place. And everybody, I think, did a fantastic job on the acting front. Because you're fully convinced on how these kids feel throughout the entire film. And Charlie, I mean, Lerman's performance is just, it blows you away. The phone call scene, it gets me every time. I've never watched this movie and not cried when that scene goes on. And then just the way he goes from this kid who's scared of high school and scared of fitting in to finding his group of Wallflowers to the little hiatus he goes on because of the Truth or Dare scene. And then them leaving, and he has his falling. It's such a well-made movie, and it makes you feel every emotion in the book.
Yeah. It's a very, very emotional film. And I think what makes the film work as well as it did is what you touched on is really the casting and the chemistry of the cast.
Yeah.
The quiet conversations that they have with each other are so beautifully done. And I think Logan Lerman is, if you have to pick one singular reason why the movie works the way it does, at least for me, it's Logan Lerman's performance.
Yeah.
I buy every single moment of him being on screen. Actors that can make us feel things without saying a word, I have always said that's the sign of a great actor. And he has so many moments in the film where he's so quiet or just observing or not saying anything. And you just see the pain that exists within him and you want to know what it is, right? Like when you're watching the movie, you want to know, like, what's going on with this guy? He's trying to be there for everybody else, but nobody's there for him. And like, what is happening with this guy?
Yeah.
And the pain that he's in is really, really profound. And him trying so desperately to fit in, and then he does, and then he messes something up and he's out again, and he tries to make things better and he makes things worse. And it's a guy that's lost, and then he finally finds the group of people that once they understand him, they accept. And when you're growing up as an adolescent, that's all you're really looking for, right? Is just acceptance. Mm-hmm. You're looking to find your people, and he finds his people in the most unlikely of places. And I think it is a film that really, really cares about its characters, and it cares about the story. And like you said, the phone call scene, it rips your heart out every time. And when you actually do have an understanding of what he is going through and what he has experienced and what he's been dealing with, it's so heartbreaking. And everybody's going through their own thing, right? Like it gives very kind of Breakfast Club vibes, is that everybody has things going on. Everybody, has issues. Everybody is having a tough time. And then, but when you find your group of people, it doesn't mean the tough times are going to go away, but it makes it more manageable, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what, is happening. And the film and the book are so iconic in terms of the quotes. Paul Rudd getting to say the line of "We accept the love we think we deserve" is
Yeah.
such an iconic quote. And then, Charlie at the end giving the line of, "And in this moment, I swear we are infinite," when they're going through
Yeah.
the tunnel. And it's just, it's a beautiful way to end. The story is filmed in Pittsburgh, and if you know anything about Pittsburgh, like the city is like, it feels like another character, especially the tunnel at the end.
Yeah.
It's a really fantastic story.
Yeah. A couple other scenes that really stick out to me in this movie too that I always like. Obviously, the redemption scene where we get him knocking out the football players to
Yeah.
save Patrick.
Yeah.
Always love that scene and the touch my friends again and I'll blind you.
Yes.
And then the other one is when he gets baked for the first time eating the brownies.
Yeah.
And it's actually the quote I picked, I think, on my Letterboxd review the first time to this movie. When she asks him, "How are you feeling, Charlie?" He goes, "I just want a milkshake."
Yeah.
That's the most relatable line in the movie for me,
just
because I'm
want a
always craving a
milkshake.
milkshake.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. It's a movie that's got a lot of hilarity to it, and it's got a lot of heart to it. And it's just,
Yeah.
it's
lot
a
of heart.
blast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a movie that I've probably only watched a handful of times because it is so heavy, that there's so much going on and there's so many levels to it. And, it's just a movie I feel like connects kind of universally to people. Everybody can find something in it
Yeah.
that they really enjoy and love. I want to get into a little bit of IMDb trivia about the film. Just a
Yeah.
couple interesting little things. So one thing I found that was really interesting and fun is that it said the entire cast, including Logan Lerman and Ezra Miller, lived in the same Pittsburgh hotel during the entire duration of filming.
Oh,
And
wow.
Logan Lerman said it was kind of like we were living in a dorm environment. We really got to connect in a way that I thought was special. And I think, right, like that to me speaks to why that cast felt so connected. Like they
Yeah,
literally
for
all
sure.
lived together. They were together 24/7 for the entire time of filming.
That's really cool too, because we've worked on set together. I think one of the fun things is like when you have downtime and you get to just talk with other people that have similar interests as you, as like we do. Like when we had lunch and you and I were talking about movies and we're talking about how we met everybody on set and stuff like that. Like that's just part of the fun in filmmaking, and getting to have that all the time would be really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
You
One
definitely
of the
build
more,
chemistry too.
yeah. And it's nice because we can kind of speak to that because, every set that we work on together, there's more of that comfort and more of that camaraderie and that is a real thing. Something that is a little bit heartbreaking because we both love John Hughes so much is John Hughes actually initially was the first person that acquired the rights to the book.
Really?
And John Hughes was in development of Perks of Being a Wallflower when he passed away.
Oh, wow.
So obviously it would have been a completely different film because the rumor was that he was thinking of casting Shia LaBeouf as Charlie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like that. I love John Hughes and everything he does,
but yeah, John Hughes had initially acquired the rights before he passed away. And then once he passed away, it was reset back to the original writer of the book. Another piece of trivia was the writer, Stephen Chbosky, I think is his name. He grew up in Pittsburgh. And when he was young, he watched the Rocky Horror Picture Show in the same exact theater where they filmed the scene.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he said in an interview that it was one of the greatest things he ever got to do.
Yeah, that's cool.
That he
really
filmed it
cool.
in the same theater. And then another really kind of just like little fun one that I thought was really nice is that in the Christmas party scene where Sam, Emma Watson's character, is reading the card from Charlie.
Yeah.
In reality, she didn't know this is what was going to be handed to her, but Emma Watson was reading a personal note handwritten to her from the director of the movie telling her what a phenomenal job she was doing and what a fantastic job. And then he had the actual note like written in there, but he wrote her a note about what a fantastic job she was doing. And Emma Watson said the emotions that you see are real emotions from her.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. So just fun little bits of trivia there, but probably my favorite one is that John Hughes was going to make this movie.
Yeah,
and
that's crazy.
John Hughes, I think, is one of the greatest filmmakers of all time, but it would have been a completely different experience. And I'm glad, obviously, that the passing of him was very traumatic for me. I was really, really upset about it, and I still am.
Yeah.
But I think the writer of the book being the writer and director of the film was really the way to go.
For sure. I agree. Speaking on cast, too, one more thing to throw out there. What about the weirdest cameo of all time with Tom Savini being the shop teacher?
What is it, Mr. Callahan? Something like that?
Yeah,
Yeah. Just what I mean, Pittsburgh and Savini makes sense, because
for
he's
sure.
so incorporated with Pittsburgh. But I feel like, I don't know, how do you think that conversation went? Do you think, Steven Chbosky like reaches out and is like, hey, Tom, you want to be in this movie? And he's like, yeah, sure. And he's like, oh, wait, really? Oh, okay.
Where are the zombies?
Yeah, I would be in it, but when does the zombie part happen? They're like, oh, it happens later. And he's like, okay, cool.
Never happens.
Yeah, it never happens. They're like,
This
just tell him
suckered him
whatever
that
he
way.
needs. Yeah, tell him whatever he needs to hear to get him in this movie.
You'll find that on the IMDb trivia page.
Yeah. I feel like
Savini
Tom
was told there
Savini-
would be zombies.
He was told. I feel like Tom Savini was just like hanging out at home, and they're just like, hey, are you doing anything next Saturday? No, why? You want to be in a movie? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anything else you want to add about Perks?
If you haven't seen it, go watch it. If you
Yeah.
have seen it, go watch it again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man, I think that really kind of sums it up. It's a fantastic film. Just a kind of as a disclaimer, if anybody out there that's listening has not seen it, it definitely deals with some really kind of intense topics, sensitive topics. So I would say do just maybe your due diligence, do a little bit of research ahead of time, maybe a spoiler-free kind of Google of it, of what kind of sensitive topics it deals with. We definitely don't want to like trigger anybody, but I think it deals with really, really intense topics, but it deals with it in a really profound and beautiful way. And the film is, I just think, a really fantastic look at what it is like to grow up and have struggles and to find your group of people that helps you get through them. So
For sure.
yeah, Perks of Being a Wallflower, fantastic movie of the week, Bull Will. So for all of you out there listening, we're so happy you guys came back for episode 8. We're having a blast doing this. We love it. Let us know what you think of our takes, our Rotten Tomato takes, our movie of the week, our summer movies. Reach out to us. Let us know what we should talk about, what your thoughts are. But as always, we appreciate you guys joining us. We're having a blast doing this, and we will be back with episode 9 shortly. But as always, I'm Adam.
And I'm Will.
And we will talk to you guys later.
Peace.
Peace.